Craigslist was never made for safety. It's a free-for-all. People trade couches, roommates, used cars, lives. You scroll looking for a deal, but sometimes you answer something that wasn't meant for you. These 5 stories aren't fiction. They're the ones that slipped through and barely walked back out. I just moved into a new place. No furniture, no bed, just boxes and the kind of quiet that makes you hear things. Craigslist became my go-to for anything cheap. One night I saw a post that just said, "Free couch, must go tonight, basement pickup." The photo showed a beat-up leather couch sitting on concrete. It looked old but clean. No weird things obviously wrong with it, so I messaged the guy. He replied really fast, said they come around 6 and bring help, it's heavy. I brought my friend John. The address took us to a part of town that neither of us knew. They came with no sidewalks, sagging fences, and the houses that looked like they'd seen too much. We pulled up, and the porch light clicked on. That was the only sign that the house was alive. The front door opened before we even knocked. I saw a guy, pale, mid-40s maybe, stepped out. No greeting, no expression. He actually just instantly turned around and walked back inside, so we followed him. The air was wet and smelled like old laundry and metal. The house was dark, quiet and empty. Not even a chair in the living room. He led us to the basement door, opened it and disappeared down the stairs without saying a word. From the darkness his voice floated up. "It's down here." I stepped forward but John stopped me. He leaned close and whispered, "Someone else is down there." I saw them move, in the dark. We backed out, no goodbyes, just walked out and left the door hanging open behind us. The next day the post was gone. I was 20 and broke when I found a listing. Single mom, 2 kids, evening babysitter needed, great pay. It was on Craigslist under part-time jobs. The pay was high, kind of unusually high looking back on it. The message was polite. She said her husband had passed and that she needed someone to help while she worked overnight shift. It all sounded pretty reasonable. She gave me the address and asked if I could come over and go over the schedule. It was about half an hour out of town, just past the last gas station, through the woods that the GPS barely mapped. When I pulled up, the house looked almost fake. Porch light was on, the windows black, no car in the driveway. She opened the door just as I arrived. She looked like she was in her late 30s, jeans and a sweater, hair tied back, smiled like she was trying hard to seem calm. She said the kids were asleep already and waved me inside. But the house, it just felt hollow. There were no shoes by the door, no toys, not even a single family photo. And the lights were too dim, if that even really makes sense. The air even felt quite still. She led me to the kitchen table. There was a printed schedule, wake times, allergies and other medical contacts laid out, kind of to look like a checklist. She walked me through it while we were there. The whole thing just felt wrong. Then I heard it. Something dragged across the floor above us, heavy and slow, like someone shifting a box. She didn't flinch, just kept talking. With that, I looked towards the hallway. There was a door that was slightly open. She saw me looking and stepped in front of it fast. It's just the laundry room." That was enough. I stood up, said I'd forgotten something in my car, and walked out. The second I hit the road, I blocked her number. That night, out of curiosity, I reversed image, searched the photo that she'd been using in the listing, the one with her and her kids. It was stock, used on real estate agent ads and other parenting blogs. I filed a report the next morning. The cops checked it out. They said the house was abandoned, no power, no furniture, but that someone had been there. There was trash and a mattress in the basement, and cameras, one on the vent and one on the smoke detector, and even one in the mirror. It almost seemed like she wasn't even looking for a babysitter. I listed my old TV on Craigslist. Heavy out of date, but still worked fine. I priced it low just to get it out of the house. A guy had messaged me within the hour. He said his name was Mike. He offered to come that night. He said he worked late so he could only get there around 11. I didn't really think much of that, so I said it was cool. At about 11:05, a white van pulled into the driveway. No windows in the back and no plates. It idled there for a minute, still running. Then the driver's door opened. A man stepped out wearing a hoodie and a baseball cap. He didn't come up, didn't knock. He just stood near the van, looking at the house. I opened the door just a crack and waved. He walked up, looked inside at the TV and said, looks good, let me just go get the cash. He turned and walked back towards the van and didn't come back. 5 minutes passed, then 10. The van was still running, door open. I watched from the window, no movement. Eventually I opened the front door, just enough to lean out and see into the van. Inside was a giant plastic storage bin, yellow lid, the kind you'd find in a hardware store. Next to it, rope, folded tarp and a long sharp knife. The bin wasn't empty. I didn't look any closer, just shut the door, locked every bolt, turned out the lights. I watched that van for over half an hour. At some point it had just gone. Police said the plates were fake. The van came back to a stolen vehicle. They found it a few days later, empty, parked in a strip mall lot, a couple of towns over. They never found the guy, and I never lifted anything on Craigslist since. Craigslist was the only option when I was broke and new to the city. Found a listing that sounded great. Private room, $400 a month. Must meet in person. The guy answered fast, gave me an address, and told me to stop by after work. It was in a quiet neighbourhood, average house, nothing strange. When I got there, he introduced himself as Ben, early 30s maybe, hoodie, quiet voice. He didn't invite me inside, just told me to walk around back to see the separate entrance to the basement unit. So I followed him. When he opened the door, it was pitch black inside. He stepped in and wanted me to follow. There was a long hallway, no lights, no sound. At the end was a room, just a singular room. I stood at the threshold and asked, "Where's the kitchen, the bathroom?" He said nothing. Then I noticed the camera in the corner, half hidden, the red light blinking. There was a strong smell, bleach, and something older, perhaps deeper, like rot covered in soap. Then I heard it, a breath, not mine, not his. It came from behind the wall. I backed out and walked away. He didn't follow, he just stood in the doorway watching. The listing was gone by morning. This one still messes me up. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I was off work, home alone, and it was storming bad that night. I was watching the TV and there was a knock at the door. Not a friendly knock. Hard, slow, spaced out. I checked the people, but it was black. Someone had their finger over it. I froze. I didn't say anything, didn't move. Then, another knock, louder. I backed away and slowly grabbed a knife from the kitchen. Called 911, whispered that someone was at the door, blocking the people. Then came a voice. "I saw your ad on Craigslist," he said. Calm, like this was normal. I hadn't posted anything. No ads, nothing for sale. I said, "You're at the wrong house." He paused and said, "No, I don't think I am." That was it. I told dispatch what he said. They stayed on the line with me until 2 officers pulled up. The guy ran. They chased him and tackled him. He had a knife in his coat, no ID, just a burner phone. To this day I still don't know what ad he was talking about, or if there even was one. But for sure, someone had given him my address.